Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the webinar Erasmus Plus Sport Call 2023, Tips for Applicants. It's a pleasure to be here and thanks for registering and attending this event. I'm Paolo Menescardi, President of Lorma and founder of Lorma International, an Italian educational agency active in the field of sport, education, and social innovation. And I have the pleasure today to introduce this important event in which we are going to share some tips, knowledge, and technical aspects on how to write and design a European project within the Erasmus Plus Sport chapter. I will not be alone in this experience, as here with me there's Bruno Avila-Rosa, partner at Cantar Sports, one of the best experts in Europe in this field. And Bruno has developed knowledge and wide experience in Erasmus Plus Sport as project manager, grant writer, evaluator, training, and external auditor and consultant. Before starting officially, a couple of technical aspects from my side. So the duration of the webinar will be more or less 45, 60 minutes in total. The video will be visible online on YouTube, even after the event. If you want to interact with us, please write a comment on YouTube as you are already doing, and we'll try to answer to all your questions in the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. If there are too many questions, we can organize another webinar on this topic because, yeah, it's very important, especially in this period before the Erasmus Plus Sport deadline 2023. And I'm sure that Bruno has an infinite knowledge and can organize dozens of webinars like this. Tomorrow morning, you are going to receive a follow-up email with additional contents and a way to get in contact with us. So please, if you don't receive the email, check in your junk mail. That's all from my side. I'm passing the ball to Bruno. Thanks again for being here. Enjoy the webinar and see you later for the Q&A session.
Okay, thank you very much, Paolo. My pleasure in being here. Thank you for the invitation or for generating this idea that we are now putting on practice. I would like also to congratulate you for all the work Lorma is being done in the scope of this proposal of sharing knowledge with people. Of course, Lorma is also a partner and interested in Erasmus Plus Sport, but at the same time is willing to share information with other organizations. And when we all together, when we all grow at the same time, and when we share experience and we support others, all the community develops and all the community increases knowledge. And I think this is very good point you are doing at Lorma, and I want to congratulate you for that. For the people attending, thank you very much for being here. I will try to pass some of the experience. Of course, in about 40 minutes, it's not possible to explain all the details regarding how to write a successful proposal, but I will try to remark what is most important, in my personal opinion, according to my experience, what is most important for you to consider when you are applying when you are writing a project proposal. We know that many of you already have many experience. Hope that some new knowledge can be you can learn some new knowledge. At the same time, many people is listening for the first time about Erasmus Plus Sport or with less experience, and I hope this can give you some light about the process you should go in order to be more mature and be more engaged to the Erasmus Plus Sport, and to use this opportunity the European Commission is giving to all the sports sector. So the idea is to talk about tips for applicants. In this case, the applicants is not the applicant, the organization that is in charge of the application, but the applicants, all the projects, all the organizations that want to apply for Erasmus Plus Sport. And there is a first issue when we want to apply. We know that the money is there. We have an idea. We have an ambition. We want to generate impact in our communities. But we have to explain it, and we have to write a project description. Many of us we don't have an academic background or experience with fundings or whatever. So this is a big barrier between our idea and our intention and our good intentions to generate impact in our communities with sport, at the same time to earn some money to develop these own projects. So I will bring some tips that I think, as I was saying, are important to consider. And from these tips, I think you can start, you can keep researching and keep searching more about the topics I will talk about. I will start with general tips. So we'll go from the general to the specific. And these are just starting tips. So the main very general ideas that I think it is very, very important to say, and they are very important because they are common mistakes when you write a project proposal, is, for example, the first one is think on a smart-based approach and avoid subjectivity. The SMART came from the SMART objectives: be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, in timely manner. So if we are very subjective, like, we think that this could be interesting for our community, or maybe our kids, will avoid that. So try to be as specific, as descriptive, as neutral as you can, very pragmatic, avoid to use adjectives. So it's a way of writing that is far from a romance. So you should be very specific in the way you write. The second one is choose your partners accurately. And this has two senses. The first one is, okay, maybe we have some nice friends that can be our partners, but they are hard to work with. Maybe for this topic, they are not the most adequate partner to be involved. But at the same time, if you are starting and we are newcomers, it's better to be with people that we already know. They can support us, they can help us. So study the characteristics of the partners who you want to be involved with. Some projects were perfect during the process of proposal, and then there was big issues during the implementation because there are partners that are harder than others, and you must fit with those that are in line with the way you think a project must be. And at the same time, we must choose them wisely. And this wisely means that it is not only the project itself that counts for funding. I mean, I can have a project about alternating physical activity in elderly people. This is very relevant topic. But the European Commission wants to share the budget with different countries. So if you see that there is a country that they don't have so many projects, or in this topic, they didn't have any project in all the life of Erasmus Plus Sport, you should think and include a partner from this country, because there are countries that are very active in general, and there are countries that are very active in some specific topics, but there are countries that are not yet. So try to involve the partners from countries that are not so used to be involved in projects, because this will benefit your proposal. The third one is be eye-catching to attract the interest of evaluators. The first thing, and normally people doesn't put too much effort on this, is write a good summary. Normally the summary of the project proposal is the last thing we do when we write a proposal. But it's the first thing evaluators read when starting evaluating a proposal. So a good summary can be a nice or a bad door for your project. So pay attention to the summary. You must have the objectives, you must have the background. Why are you doing this project? You must present the partners involved, and you must present the expected results you will reach within the summary, with the project in the summary. And at the same time, think that this is not a romance book. Many times, the project proposals are plain text, and this is not the way we should write the project proposal. We should use bullet points, we should use boxes, we should, maybe sometimes we can use a bold or an italic. We must find a way to remark, to highlight what is most important for the evaluator to see. Because evaluators get tired, maybe they can pass a paragraph that for you is very important, but you didn't highlight it. So the evaluators just jump it. So organize it in a very pedagogical way to attract the attention of the evaluators. Also, this is a very basic, but many times doesn't appear, seek for real impact. We are not talking about some abstract impact, real impact. We want to know how many people is impacted by the project, how many people will be impacted by the resources that are published in the scope of the project. And the last is the one that I will focus more during this webinar, is to be consistent. We need to be consistent from the beginning until the end of the project proposal, because we need to align the objectives with the methodology, with activities, with the impact, and with the budget. And how can we do that? This is something that I will try to answer a bit. So when you think on a project, there are two main things that must be always in your mind when you're writing. Many of you, the people that are attending now the webinar, are already starting writing your proposals. So, and you see that there are a lot of boxes, a lot of ideas. How can we put all in the same railway? How can we put all in the same pathway? There are two, for me, the most important guidelines for the project is the definition of the objective. We should put a lot of effort and time, if needed, in the definition and the well-designed objectives, because well-designed objectives are half of the project, and the impact, which actually the impact and objectives, as we will see, they are strictly connected. I cannot define, for example, sometimes appears that people put 15 objectives or 12 objectives, and then you see not all of them are objectives, some are activities. So an objective is something that we want to achieve. And this is saying us already that I want to achieve this, and this is the impact I want to achieve. So think always in this mirror way, objective, impact, and be careful also about what I was saying, that an objective is something that I want to achieve. An objective is not a task, is not an activity. It's something I have on my vision to achieve with the project. So when I design objectives, I'm thinking already in where I want to reach with the project proposal or with the project implementation, if well succeeded, which is the impact. So we can design all the fields in the project proposal, but always with these two guidelines that are twins, objectives and impact. And for that, I can give you four general tips. We are not in the specific ones that will be specific to the project description sheet. To align objectives and impact, think on the theory of change. Those who don't know the theory of change or the logic models, start reading about it, because it will be very helpful in your project proposals. And also remember to create always smart objectives. Check your objectives using the SMART checklist. Are they specific? Are they measurable? If an objective is not measurable, if you cannot measure an objective, it's not a good objective. Are they achievable in the scope of the project? Are they realistic in the scope of the project? And they are defined according to the time. They are timely organized. The second thing is guarantee that all the project evaluation criteria are in line. The project description has a header in every box saying what is important. So check if you are answering all the questions that are there. This is very important. At the same time, relevance, quality, the quality of partnership or the quality of methodology, and the impact and ambition and communication, everything must be round. No pop-up situations. Everything fits with everything. Think on the Matryoshka's base and tune your project sections. The macro approach of the project is linked with the small action. And this is something I heard. I still hear a lot that, oh, I had a very good idea, but the project wasn't approved. What was your idea? Oh, the idea was this, but then there is no good idea. A good idea is a well-structured project. The idea is the structure of the project. Just an abstract idea is not an idea enough, or it's not good enough to get funding. So there aren't good ideas. This is the first demystification I would like to do. There is good and functional project structure from whom the idea arises. So the logical models and the theory of change, what they say is that there are a relationship between, as I was saying, between the objectives and the impact. And we can see that, for example, this is a mix between the logic model and theory of change, and the call goals. It's the aims, the objectives of the call. We must be in line. For example, the general objective must be very well aligned with the objectives of the call. So we have the call goals, then we have the objectives, the general ones that are in line with the call goals, and the specific ones that are in line, that must be in line with activities that are proposed. So this is the work that we plan. And then there are what we intended to achieve. We have the outputs, we have the outcomes, and we have the impact. Maybe for some of you, this is too specific language. It was for me also in the beginning. I didn't burn an expert in project writing and project management. Actually, I started with project management with Erasmus Plus Sport in 2014, and I was completely ignorant at the time. So this was a process learning, followed by curiosity and opportunities of doing different stuff. But in the beginning, I didn't know what was it also. So output is the result. You do an activity, and this activity has an output. The output can be, for example, the publication of a handbook. This is an output. The outcome is what we want to reach with the result. For example, we have one book, and this book reaches 400 people. Okay, and this is the outcomes. It's what is achieved with the result of the activity, and the impact is more general. Is more abstract. It's very hard to measure impact. What we need to have is we need to have data to define that the impact is achievable. So we did the right activities. These activities had the right outputs as previous. The output has the outcome that we plan. So 300 people were impacted by read the handbook, or 3 coaches were trained, or 40 people participated in the event, whatever. So the outcomes are what the output results achieve, and then this is the data that can give us confidence to say that this project is impactful. At the same time, the second general tip is don't think on them as separate parts. When I write a project proposal, I never write from A to Z. I write the objectives, then I go to the work plan, then I go to the impact, then I go to the objectives again. So think that everything is related with everything. So you must look at the proposal as a whole and go step by step, considering all the parts, because everything must be well connected. And at the same time, this is like poetry, this part, but this is from the theoretical point of view, this is not a good slide because it has a lot of information. But this says exactly what I think, that the idea of Matryoshka, that the macro needs to be linked with the micro, because we need to link the project background with the needs analysis. And then the needs analysis must be linked with the European policies. The European policies must be linked with the project general objectives. The general objectives must be linked with the expected impacts. The expected impacts should be linked with the sustainability in continuation of the project, the 2.0 project, or the continuation if the project will not have a 2.0 follow-up. The sustainability and the continuation with the outcomes must be related to the specific objectives, with project activities with the outputs. The project outputs must be well designed through the feasible methodology. The methodology must be very sustained under a nice work plan, the work plan in line with the budget, and the budget is very well organized with the partner responsibilities that are done according to the capability of the partners. You cannot put a small club doing research, and it's not a good decision to put a university trying to reach 300 kids in their activities, because the club has the kids and the university does the research. So the responsibilities should be in line with the mission of the institutions that are part of the consortium. And the good project idea, as I was saying, is this: it's problem-based. You have a need analysis. First of all, you identify the gap. What is needed? Why this project is needed? Why the European Commission should give money to this project? Is there any gap that you want to fill? If there is, you must explain and you must justify through the needs analysis. It has smart objectives. Everything is measurable. Everything is very well and very pragmatic and very well structured. It is aligned with international policies. You must say that this project is aligned with the recommendation 3.4 of the World Health Organization and UNESCO and the European Commission and the Council of Europe, etc., 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 to guarantee that you are putting up practice the international policies, especially the European ones, of course. It has a clear and feasible methodology involving the activities that are in perspective, and also the distribution of the budget, and also the internal and external communication, the decision making, all the boxes that you are already aware of. It is applied to the right partnership. You have the right partners from the right countries in your project. The roles and responsibilities are well defined. It has clear goals. You know what you want to achieve. The objectives are very clear, and the impact that is expected, that you need to prove under the implementation of the project, of course, but the impact, the expected impact is very clear also. And as I said before, internal and external communication are clearly designed. Okay, let's go for specific tips. It will be general specific tips because we cannot have time to go further box by box, but in terms of these three main areas of we will not talk about budget this time, but these three main areas of the project description. Relevance, that is the justification of the project. Why is this project relevant? Why is this project important? Well, why should the European Commission give money to your consortium to apply this project? The quality of the project itself, how the house is built, if it's a house that when the wind passes follows, or it's a very strong and very well designed with nice structure and a nice view, and which is the impact, what the project serves for after all. Are we doing a project just to be with friends in some transnational project meeting, or are we doing a project that generates real impact in real people, in real communities? And I bring again this idea, the idea of the mirror. The general objective is linked with the impact. They must work as a mirror. The specific objectives are linked with the outcomes. Don't worry. I'm sorry. In a couple of slides, I will provide you an example. The specific objectives are linked with the outcomes, and the activities are linked with the output. So when you design your activities inside every work package that you decide to use or to create, think in the activities which outputs are considered. Are you thinking in generate? There is sometimes confusion between output and deliverable. An output actually is a deliverable. It's something that you have to deliver, but the deliverable is understood more in the administrative point of view. For example, I do a transnational project meeting and I do a report of the meeting. This is a deliverable. It's not an output, but the output is linked with the objectives, because through the implementation of the activities, we have results, and these results is what we want to achieve. And these results generates outcomes, and outcomes can give us some confidence about the impact of the project. So think in a general objective that comes from the call aims in line with the impact. Think on specific objectives in line with the outcomes, and think in the activities in line with the output. And this is like a book that closes and opens. And we will see an example when we talk about impact. At the same time, the relevance, this is the starting point. Everyone must know what says the white paper on sport. People that works in Erasmus Plus Sport must have the white paper on sport printed and on hands all the time. Students of sports management must know and must work all the time with the white paper on sport. The white paper on sport has three main work streams. One of it is the societal role of sport, the economic dimension of sport, and the organization of sport. For the Erasmus Plus Sport, the most interesting or the most relevant one is the societal role of sport, which has eight topics that the European Union says that sport should work on them. So sport is a tool for enhancing public health through physical activity. Sport is a tool to join forces in the fight against doping. Sport is a tool to enhance the role of sport in education and training. Sport is a tool to promote volunteering and active citizenship through sport. It's also a tool to use the potential it's also a tool for social inclusion, integration, and equal opportunities to strengthen the prevention of and fight against racism and violence, and sharing our values with other parts of the world. And the last tool that sport is to support sustainable development. Nowadays, we talk about sustainable development a lot, but this is from 2007. And this set the pathway, the railway of the European policies in sport. It is very important to know the white paper on sport because in each of these eight topics, the European Commission already developed many studies. So you can go to this first topic regarding health and physical activity, and there are studies and there are reports made by the European Commission in this topic. There are studies and reports and also strategies related to the fight against doping. There are, for example, in the role of sport education and training, for example, the qualification of coaches, the inclusion of female coaches, the promotion of the dual career concept that 12 years ago, no one knows what was dual career, and now is something that everyone more and less knows what it's about. For those that is the first time, it's the combination of studies for high performance athletes or not yet high performance athletes, the combination of studies with the sports practice. And at the same time, after retirement, the relation between the sports practice and employability. So in all these topics, European Commission since 2007 designed strategies, did studies. When you are justifying the project, your proposal, you need to go to these studies, you need to go to these strategies, and you need to mention it. That the strategy, for example, I will use, it's a second one, but it's the most recent one, the strategy towards a more equitable sport, gender equality strategy for sport. We have a gender equality strategy for sport. And if we are using a project that is the main focus is gender equality, we should use the strategy for gender equality and the same for any other area. But at the same time, we should go to other sectors besides sport. For example, there is a European strategy for gender equality, not only for sport, but in general. We should go there to justify the relevance of our project. I can say you, for example, the European strategy for people with disability has a small part that is sport specific. I mean, the European strategy for people with disability includes sport in their strategy. So we can use the European strategy on sport, but we can go also to the general one to pick up the guidelines and the recommendations they are giving to us. Other thing that we must be always aware is the European Union work plans for sport. The recent one, the one that is now under development, is this between 21 and 24 that has three main areas. Normally, the three main areas are always the same in the different multi-annual work plans. It's values and integrity one, then the socioeconomic and environment dimension, and then the promotion and participation in sport and health and physical activity. That is the impact of physical activity on individual and public health. We should go there. We should see what are the main actions that they are doing. For example, I can say you that there is an expert group right now working in the sustainability of sport, and they will publish a guideline or a report about the topic, helping the organizations, the European organizations, in working in this scope also of the environmental and the green sport. At the same time, we need to go to other umbrella policies. First of all, the European ones with a large partial agreement on sport that has many initiatives in the scope of ethics that are interesting to be used. And then the United Nations agencies. For example, we have here 8 logos. Each of these 8 logos has a strategy, an initiative, a plan, or a report about sport and physical activity that we can use in our projects. And this is a very nice justification when we go to the United Nations strategies on sport. And the main umbrella organizations like the International Olympic Committee with the recent agenda 2020 plus 5, and the TAFISA with the mission 2030 that also has a lot of recommendations for sports for all. So if you want to justify a proposal, we need to justify the background and that we are in line. We will apply in the practice what these main organizations are saying. And then this is it's hard for people that has not an academic background, that is nice to put some scientific research, especially to identify the gap, because the science is always looking to find a solution for the gap. Everything that is not known is tried to be known through scientific approach or scientific method. But if you are not a scholar, you are not a researcher, it's harder to manage the amount of information that exists. I am a scholar myself, so this part is not that hard. But of course, even being a PhD, I'm a PhD in the very specific topic. I'm not a PhD in everything that is related with European policy in sport. So I need to do some research about the topic when I'm writing about a specific topic. The first thing I do is go to this very famous browser, the Bubble, and I write systematic review on health and physical activity for elderly people, systematic review on racism in sport, systematic review on dual careers in youth athletes. So, because the systematic reviews that are very common work from the scientific point of view, they put all together all the research that was done, and at the same time, they gave you insights about what was studied, what is needed to be studied, and what is the gap in this area. So you can justify using scientific research your proposal, even if you are not a researcher or a specialist in research. Also, very important for relevance, don't start doing your project without seeing what happens before. Erasmus Plus Sport started in 2014. There is a lot of projects, and if you see the projects in the topic you are willing to apply, you will find maybe some projects that already did the same. This is not a problem. This is normal. What you need to know is that if there is a project very similar with what you want to do, what you must do is try to be as far as possible of this project. For one side, you have a good practice, maybe they were recognized as a good practice, maybe, but you have you can say that, okay, in this topic, there was project A, project B, project C, they reached this, and this, but our project will be different because we go to a different gap. So we will complete the approach that was started before with this previous project. So go to the Erasmus Plus project results platform, search for your topic, search for the countries involved, inform about your partners in the project they were involved. Put some effort on this part to know previous projects. The justification of the relevance of your project can be made also differentiating your proposal from the proposals that were done before, that were approved before. In terms of quality, the most important thing is to, in my opinion, is to use a feasible and well-known methodology. Don't create something New, use the methodologies that are validated and follow their lines. There are many. I can put, I share with you these two. It's International Standard Organization. One, it's the work breakdown structures for project and program management, and the other is guidance on project management. Okay, follow these routes. Follow the way they are saying how to build a project and how to design a well-qualified project proposal. At the same time, you need also to do quality control. That is to confirm that every objective, every activity is applied on time, is done on time according to the right quality you provided. So you can use also an international standard organization standard, the 9001. It's famous, and this cycle that is the plan, do, check, act. It's something that you can do inside the proposal. So plan, it's okay, I plan to do this, then you do, then you need to check if it's according to the plan, you do the corrections, and then you act again. Every output should pass through this process. You can do it internally with your partners. The partner A designs an output, and the output is validated by the rest of the partners of the consortium, or you can ask external validation for some stakeholders. So this is a way of guaranteeing the quality of what you are doing. Also, identify and distribute very well responsibilities. It is not well recognized projects. In the beginning, there were a lot, but nowadays it's not so well recognized. When the applicant has 50% of the budget and the other 6 has 10% each one. No, look for balanced budgets with balanced responsibilities and try to involve everyone in every task, but with different scales, with different intensities of responsibility. So think very well what are the responsibilities and which every partner can offer to the project, to the tasks, to the work packages you are designing. And for that, there are 2 things you should propose in the proposal and you should do during the project implementation. That is the methodology and quality control plan. This methodology and quality control plan that should be designed in the first month of the project will help you in following all the map that you designed. A project is not going on the boat and see, now we go left, now we go right. No, a project is not going on the boat without knowing where is the north. The project is a railway, and we must follow the railway as much as we can. One possible tool to use for quality control, and at the same time, not for quality control, I'm sorry, for follow the responsibilities and what is done, is the RACI matrix. The matrix, we can put the responsibilities of the organizations, what they need to do, and we can follow what is being done. So it's a very easy Excel with double entries. So nothing spectacular and very easy to use. Think on that in using a RACI matrix to follow the work that is done by all the partners, considering that in some tasks one is the leader and another task another one is the leader. And here we are again with the most important image of this webinar. It's this idea of mirror general objectives that are linked with the call objectives. They should be thought in relation with the impact, the generic impact of the project. Specific objectives, measurable, smart objectives, they are related with the outcomes. That is what we want to reach with the results. And activities are very physical tasks that are done in the scope of the project, and they generate outputs. The outputs are results of the project, and the results help us in reaching the outcomes. The outcomes are something we want to reach with the results, and with the results, with the outcomes, we are more sure that we can generate impact. One example. This is not true. This is a simulation. General objective, for example, general objective: improve healthy habits among youth at risk of marginalization. One specific objective, just one to see. Improve physical fitness of youth at risk of marginalization. We can measure this, if the physical fitness was improved or not. Activities. Design a specific training framework for kids with such profile, teenagers at risk of marginalization. So we will design a specific training framework and then implement one pilot in every partner country to test the framework. This pilot will need, it is not here, but if we implement a pilot, we will need to train the trainers need to be trained. Okay, what are the outputs? This activity, design a specific training framework for kids with such profile, has an output, specific training framework. And this is an output of the project that can be followed by any organization in all the world. The frameworks are Erasmus Plus Sport, any Erasmus Plus resource or output are free access. So this framework can be used for other people to design their own trainings. And then you do a pilot evaluation report. That is to prove that the pilot you apply is feasible, has quality, and can be spread all over the countries of Europe. What are the outcomes? Okay, we did one training framework validated, cool. One pilot implemented in 6 different countries. 30 monitors were trained, 5 per country, because it was a six partner countries project, and 120 youth were tested in the pilot. About 20 in every country. So these are the outcomes. You can say that our project proposal reached these outcomes. What are the impact? What is the impact? Well, we can say, based on this data, that youth are at risk of marginalization are healthier because they passed through the pilot, they have more physical fitness, they improve in the physical fitness, and they improve in the rest of the specific objectives than that we decided to put in the project. One thing, one general objective, 2 is too much, but it can be 3 general objectives. It's not good. Specific objectives, no more than 4. 5 can be, but no more. The ideal is between 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Okay. Don't put too many. Some projects you feel, okay, I will put the 5th one. Okay, but it's not. Between 3 and 4 specific objectives. And then the activities. Each activity, you can put the activities you want. The activities are part of the work packages. So you just put the activities you use to reach, you want to apply in order to reach the specific objective that will reach the general objective, which means that is the impact. Remember the mirror and the book that is open and closed. And finally, you are knowing already this idea of theory of change and logical models. We define the call goals, we define the objectives, activities, generate outputs, achieve outcomes, and outcomes are data that we use to assure that the project has impact. We are finalizing, again, with the same image in the beginning. All the project is something that must be very consistent inside. All the parts must fit with all the parts. Everything fits with everything, but being guided by 2 main remarks, which are the objectives and the impact that we want to generate. And I think I'm done about this webinar. I hope you enjoyed. I will just show you, if you want to go deeper, we at Erasmus, we designed this e-learning course. It has 6 modules. The first and the last are smaller because they are the introduction and the conclusion. And this is a course where you can find all the European policies. I was talking about, for example, the European policy of disability. You can go there. You see them. You have links to access. So in terms of, you have also an overview about previous projects, tips for how to be involved in Erasmus Plus Sport projects, how to proceed with the project proposal. Some of the slides here are part of the test, part of the course, and also from the project idea to the project structure. And here we talk about, it is possible to have sport projects in other Erasmus Plus fields beside Erasmus Plus Sport. I can have a sport project in youth. I can have a sport project in vocational training. I can have a sport project in other areas beside Erasmus. I can have for example, right now I'm in Sweden because I will be in the meeting of a project focused on physical activity in primary healthcare. That is a EU health program. EU health program is like the Erasmus for health. It's not the SCA, it's another stuff. But the project is about physical activity. So you can see here where are other opportunities for you to involve. If you like to enroll in the course, I will be very glad also. But we will keep doing this of webinars, and we will keep the contact through the work, the incredible work Lorma is doing to share all this information with the people by free. You have also my email if you want to contact me. I'm not very quick in answering, but I always answer. And thank you very much. Paulo, it's your time.
Yes. Wow. So thanks, Bruno. Thank you very much, and was amazing. And so congratulations also for staying in the 45 minutes. That was challenging for you, I know.
Well, the topic is hard. The topic is hard. This is
yeah.
a 5 years webinar, not
exactly. So we have the first question, and maybe waiting for the others because they have a delay on YouTube. So the first question that I think is quite interesting from Carlo. So how do you demonstrate the need of the people for what you are proposing? A survey. So basically, how do you find the need of the target group that you are trying to touch?
Statistics. You must find there is a lot of different European statistics. For example, if we talk about healthiness and physical activity nowadays, we have the Eurobarometer. Also, we have the physical activity fact sheets that are published together between the European Commission and the World Health Organization that are published every 3 years. And you have Eurostat. Eurostat is a specific field only for sport. And if you go there and you want to know, for example, how many youth people are employed in the sports sector, you can go there and you can find this kind of information. And then, for example, if you have statistics of your country and of the countries that are involved in your consortia, you can use also to say, okay, we are 3 countries that has a lot of obesity, for example, or people are unemployed, or we don't have too much volunteering, people volunteering, the involvement in volunteering, we don't have too much youth doing that. I wouldn't say that you should do a survey because this will be doing something before the project. You should go to the official statistics and try to find also this data on research if it doesn't exist in terms of official statistics. And there are there are statistics about almost the 8 topics of the white paper of the societal role of sport, the work stream of the white paper of sport. There are statistics about almost everything related with the 8 topics there. Official statistics from the European Commission.
Okay, good. Thanks. And let's wait maybe some seconds to see if they are receiving any other question. And so, as I mentioned at the beginning, we are sending you an email tomorrow. So if you don't receive it, please check your junk mail, because yeah, we are going to send you the link of the online course, Bruno, and how to get in contact with us. Yeah, there's another question, Bruno. So following the previous question and your answer, what should be a good impact? 1,000 people more? What?
Well, we are talking about outcome. If we're talking about numbers, we are talking about outcome. Well, yeah. It depends. 1,000 people in Capri, it's a huge impact. If you have 1,000 people in a
yeah.
If it's 1,000 people all over Europe doing something very basic, the impact is. So I will say a sentence that I say all the time to myself is let the project talk with you, because the project will make you some questions, will put you some questions and ask things to the project. There is no receipt for what is a good impact. For sure, more than in the previous, than in the beginning. The end of the project, you must have more than in the beginning, or better than in the beginning. Now, the number, maybe imagine that that you are in a project and you can involve with people at risk of marginalization, 10 people that are completely out of societal norms with already criminal records and this kind of stuff, and you can 10 in every partner countries. Oh, this is a huge impact, and they are only 10. If you can generate a real impact in 10 people that are, or 10 young people that are already under criminal records, this is a huge impact. If you want to do a mass event, 1,000 people, maybe if it's in Paris or London, it's not too much, but if it's in some small Greek island or in Azores, well, the impact will be a great impact.
Yeah. There's another question that is interesting also for me. How do you consider the partnership and the non-formal partner consortium add value? So I guess that the question is related to the associated partners. Yeah. You can say something about it, because yeah, we don't know as well.
Well,
information.
This is the difference between the partner and the associate partner is the difference between being active and non-active. Active partners are the partners of the consortium. They are working, and the others just help the project in reaching its objectives. Imagine the following situation. We do a campaign, and this campaign is focused on the fight against doping. So we design a campaign, and we have a massive open online course, and we design, it's gamified and virtual reality, blah, 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 and we have this. And WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, is not a partner, but they support us, and they say, if you build this, we will help you in sharing these outputs. So WADA, in this case, will be an associate partner, because what they will do is just to help the project consortium in disseminating the tool. So instead of reaching, I don't know, the people or the stakeholders that are directly connected to the partners of the consortium, WADA can make the impact much wider, much deeper. And this is the role. Now, we are talking of, this was a very easy example because WADA is a world umbrella. But think that, for example, you need the National Anti-Doping Agency of every country. They can be associate partners too, to do the same in the scope of that country or that region. They are not involved in the project. They don't want to be involved. They just will support you in spreading the word, sending this to their mailing list, or if you need, or in other cases, for example, you need to, for events, you need to use a space, and this space is very expensive, and they just easy the way you use that space. One thing important is that these supporters, these associate partners, you should ask them a letter of support. This way, you can assure that to the evaluator that those associate partners, they are really engaged to the mission of your project proposal. And I'm remembering now one project I was involved. It was an event that was organized by a small club in Ericeira, a surf event, surf and sustainability. I don't know if someone from Ericeira in Portugal is here, but it was, we were very proud in winning this project because it was a small club organizing a big event that, you know, it's 12, 14 per year that are approved. And at the time, we put as associate partners many actors of the Ericeira town. Ericeira is the name of the town. So we had We had some surf stores. We have also some high performance athletes, and we ask them a letter of support. Well, high performance athletes, they are not associate partners because they are a person itself. But for example, you can ask the national federation. We asked the National Federation of Surfing to support, and they did some news, and they did some interviews, and they generate some content based on the project we implemented. So it's this the role. There's people that are not, or organizations that are not directly involved, but they can support you in communication, in the implementation of activities, or providing, for example, you need coaches and you don't have. So a certain organization, they will provide you the coaches to do the first train the trainers, and they will be associate partners because you want to use the Red Cross methodology. So Red Cross methodology, Red Cross is not partner of the project, but they will participate in this way, not being paid, of course. So this is a mandatory situation. Now they need to want to be involved in this way. Of course, they need to be engaged to this approach.
Okay, great. I will pick up the last two questions. So in order to stay in 1 hour, so I'm trying to find the most relevant for everybody. The first one is, do the indicators of success refer to both outcomes and outputs? So this is the first one, and the second one, and sorry for that, but is the last one, is for this project, so for the sport project, it's necessary to include and describe the management methodology. So the methodology of, let's say, project management of the project. So for example, waterfall, agile, or others. So indicator of success refer to both outcome and outputs, and then the methodology of management.
I would say that the indicator should be aligned with the objectives, not with outcomes or outputs. You define an objective and you say, I want to run 1 kilometer. The indicator that I run 1 kilometer is running 1 kilometer. But if I run 800 meters, this is acceptable, the threshold in terms of indicator. Okay. So I want to run 1 kilometer, but if I run 800 meters, it is acceptable. So this is my indicator threshold. So when you think the measurable, the M of SMART objectives, the measurable is this. The indicators are defined for the objectives. But of course, objectives are linked with outcomes. So when you see, when you're talking about indicators, you are somehow defining the expected outcomes of the project. Because if I want to, the objective is to improve or I want to improve the capability of people using surfing as a sustainable practice. How many people? Okay, I want to reach 400 people. This is my indicator. So the outcome, the expected outcome is 400 people. The output is if I do the event or not, the activity, the result of the activity. Anyway, this is, you must listen to the project and to see how balanced. Regarding the methodologies, of course, Agile, Scrum. If you are a knowledgeable person about these methodologies, of course you should use it. You should adapt it to the boxes of the project description, most of it.
Okay, good. So 6:58, we are on time. It's really incredible.
Thanks
again, Bruno, for
attending.
Oh, thanks you for your availability, patience, and performance. It was very, very interesting. You share with us a lot of knowledge in the infinite, let's say, a very vast, wide world of the European project design and writing. And I'm sure that all the people that are interested in going deeper into the subject will find in your online course, your with Kantara Sport, the perfect tool.
Just one thing, I don't go to Google anymore, because when I started the Erasmus Plus Sport, I went to Google and it was a smash of information. Now I have the course and I go there because all the information is there organized.
Yeah, I can confirm.
And only this.
Yeah, otherwise it's a waste of time, energy, and resources. So to find all the relevant information in one place is really valuable. So, and that's why we are doing this stuff. And yeah, I know very well. So for the participant, please take a look at the video when we are finishing the live streaming, because as soon as we close the event, it might be that all the comments will disappear. So in case, please take a look at the video again and write down the comments again. So in this way, we can answer to all your questions in the upcoming days as a comment or by creating another webinar. We speak with Bruno and we see. And again, tomorrow we are sending you a follow-up email with all our contacts and how to get in touch with us. Thanks again. See you next time and keep following us.
Thank you very much, and thank you. Thank you. Congratulations, Paulo, for the initiative. Thank you.
Bye. Stop.